For the second year in a row, USA Today has named the Heinz History Center as the best museum in America. The History Center strives to interpret and preserve the contributions that African Americans have made in Western PA. And not just during the month of February, but all year round.
That's right. And joining us now is the Director of African American Programming at the History Center, Samuel Black. Great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Well, you have a very special event that happens annually. This is the Black History Month lecture series, and you have an incredible speaker for this year's event. So please tell us more.
Well, we're really excited. David Dennis Jr., that some people may recognize him as a sports person on ESPN and a sports writer, but he's actually a journalist. Has written some award-winning articles as well as a book that we're going to feature tomorrow on February 20th called The Movement Made Us, which is actually an oral history, a conversation he had with his father, who was a civil rights activist in the 1950s and 60s and was a freedom writer. That was the group of young people, these college-age people who integrated interstate travel, primarily on buses. And so it's a very thrilling book. He's going to be there. He's going to talk about the book, be in conversation with our audience, and then sign copies of his book.
Oh. Yeah, this sounds like a phenomenal event, and I'm sure you went through a lengthy process of trying to select who you wanted to feature for this event. Why did you choose David?
Well, it was, you know, we had decided on him last fall, but we thought that the nature of his book and the fact he's sort of an interesting person that crosses the line between sports and popular culture or politics and so forth. And you don't see that a lot with a lot of journalists. You either specialize in certain areas, but he's very competent and well-versed in so many different things. And we thought it would be great to bring him to Pittsburgh.
What a great selection. Can you talk a little bit more about the Freedom Riders? Because you alluded to it, but just for people who don't know what they were, and are there any Freedom Riders who are from Pittsburgh?
Well, that's an interesting question. First of all, with the Freedom Riders, were basically, as I mentioned, young people who began riding buses at that time, like Trailways or Greyhound, these sort of interstate buses. And what people don't realize is that in most southern states, these buses were segregated.
Absolutely.
And so there were laws passed, a Supreme Court decision in the 1940s to desegregate interstate travel. But states in the South basically ignored that. So it's like American law. It's only as effective as the ability to enforce it. So it really took until the early 1960s where civil rights organizations like the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, or called SNCC, NAACP, and a number of other groups joined together and basically kicked off what they call the Freedom Riders. And there were a few Pittsburghers who went south, not only in terms of Freedom Riders, but attached to that was voter registration because of the suppression of the constitutional rights to vote in a number of southern states. And all of this is really the background and the foundation for the civil rights movement. When people think of the civil rights movement, of course, they think of Dr. King and the March on Washington and so forth. But even before that event in 1963, you had decades of activism, and the Freedom Riders was a part of that. One of their first rides where they integrated buses were actually bombed. No one was killed, but people were seriously injured on that bus. And so David, his father, David Dennis Sr., was a Freedom Rider. And he worked with Medgar Evers, he worked with Dr. King, he worked with Bob Moses, he worked with people that we got to know through history who were very major in the civil rights movement. But David Dennis Sr. was someone that may have been forgotten.
Right.
But he was one of the leaders, and he was a college student. He started when he was in high school.
Yeah.
And then in his first few years in college, he was, being involved in the civil rights movement and being a freedom rider.
He was on the front lines.
Yeah, and this is more about what the lecture is going to be about for tomorrow. But in addition to that, can you just talk really briefly about some of the other African American programs at the Heinz History Center?
Slavery to Freedom is one of my favorite exhibits.
Yeah.
Slavery to Freedom is an award-winning exhibition that opened in 2012. And it still is your favorite. It's a lot of people's favorite because it tells this story of the African plight in America and in Pittsburgh. And what a lot of people may not know is that Pittsburgh was really, you're talking about the front lines of the civil rights movement, one of the front lines of the abolitionist movement. And Pennsylvania being a border state between slavery and freedom really gave us an opportunity to talk about that subject. But there's so much at the History Center regarding Black history, from sports to politics, popular culture. We celebrate jazz music at the History Center, and Pittsburgh again being such a wealthy place then and now for jazz music, and it's such a wonderful history and cultural expression.
All right.
What a great resource.
Absolutely. And thank you for all of the work that you do around Black history.
Well, you're welcome.
So appreciate it. All right, the Black History Month lecture with award-winning journalist and author David Dennis Jr. is happening tomorrow night at 8 at the Heinz History Center. If you would like to attend, we are going to have more information about the event on our website, kdka.com/talkpittsburgh, and that is 6 o'clock. Not 8 o'clock. All right, coming up on the show, Boaz actually went over to the Heinz History Center to learn more about our city's rich jazz history. We're taking a deep dive alongside our resident explorer. That's next.